how do you lead yourself? Right? How do you lead yourself? A big theme in the MOJO series is self-leadership. If you don't know, right, how to lead yourself through yucky times, through hard times, through seasons of life, through uncharted territories, then how can you expect to lead other people or a family or a group or an organization, right? You really can't. If you can't lead yourself, it's going to be really hard for people to respect you and follow you, right? A lot of you on here are coaches, entrepreneurs, in real estate, network marketers, and so you're all in this position of leadership, or you desire to lead a group of people in some capacity, whether that be your own family or your own business one day, or right now your own business. And in leadership, there comes a lot of responsibility. Because when you have people looking at you for advice and people following you, and you're not self-led, you're going to attract a lot of people who feel like they need you. And if you're a narcissist, you'll like this, but hopefully you don't like that. Because when you attract people that need you, they develop this codependence with you. This is with your followers, this is with your clients, this is with your children, this is with your spouse. If you create this environment where people think that without you, they're doomed, without you, there's no North Star, without you, they've got nothing, you're creating a codependent relationship with the people that you're leading, with the people that you're involved with. And codependency is like a killer of individual dreams. Codependency is when people take their eye off God and they start putting their eye on you. And so my goal when I lead people, because I'm self-led through God, when I lead people, I teach them how to be self-led through God as well. I don't teach people to need me. I don't teach people that without my teachings they're screwed, right? We all know marketers and people online who say, if you don't do this, you're never going to make it. If you don't invest in yourself, you're going to fail. If you don't invest in yourself, then you're not really serious. If you don't invest in yourself, then how can you expect to win? Like, that is also toxic. And it creates this terrible feeling in people who aren't ready to invest in themselves and aren't ready to take that step forward. And it gets them thinking that without this person, without this thing, I'm not going to make it. If I don't do this one thing, then I'm screwed. Like, when I first started getting into personal development and I was being sold things, I was on sales calls, I was getting sold things. And part of the sales pitch when I first got into the industry was, if you can't make a decision, like how do you expect to be successful? Like, if you can't invest in yourself in this program, then you're not going to make it. Like, hold on a second. Where's room for intuition? Where's room for my own spiritual guidance? Where's room for, I'm just not fucking ready yet? Where's room for that? Where's room for trust your own timing? Where's room for, am I even aligned while I'm making this decision? Most marketers, most salespeople, and like the bro marketing world, want to pull you out of alignment with yourself. They want to neutralize your mind, meaning move away your conscious mind, so they're talking to your subconscious mind. It's basically hypnotism at its finest. And then they suggest that you join the course, because if you don't join, you're screwed. If you don't join, you're not going to make it. If you don't join, you're not going to be successful. If you don't join, you're never going to get it. If you don't join me, it's not going to work out for you. If you don't join me right now, good luck. It's like, what? And when you're marketing to your followers, when you're marketing to your clients, when you're marketing to your family that way, without me, you're screwed, right? Without me, good luck. Without me, not looking too great for you. You leave people with this feeling that they need you to be there. They need you to be successful. They need you. And any leader of a family, of a community, of a business that creates this dynamic of neediness, eventually the people they're not going to have great results because they're out of their own alignment, because you've pulled them so far into your own vortex that they've forgotten who they are. They've forgotten that they have their own intuition, their own vine to source, their own things, and they're just like, whatever you do, I've got to do, I guess. Like, that's the way. You're my way to be successful. Without mom, I'm not going to be successful. Without dad, I'm not going to be successful. And you see parents do this as well as they lead families, right? They create this, I've seen it, they create this fear, maybe not meaning to, because I believe that every parent is truly doing the best that they know how to do, otherwise they would be doing better. But some parents create this fear in their children that without them, they don't have anything. Like, if you make me mad, I'm just not going to talk to you. If you upset mommy, then that's it. Like, you're cut off. And it leaves kids like, okay, I'll do anything you say. Like, I just don't want to be cut off. Like, I want to be in your world. Like, I want to be, It's awful. And some leaders do this. So their followers are like afraid to not invest in themselves because they don't want to be ridiculed or judged. If you're in this vibe where you've been doing this, maybe even unintentionally, it's okay. But you want to turn the ship around really fast. You want to start leading yourself in a way because maybe someone at some point led you this way. And so now you lead yourself this way. And because this is the way that you do it, now you've been teaching other people how to do it this way. When you start to lead yourself, you're not listening for someone else's word to make you perfect. You're not listening for someone else's validation to make you feel like you're in alignment. When you lead yourself, the only thing that you align with is source. The only thing that you align with is God. And the reason being is because we all have our own vines. A few days ago, I was talking about how when I work with people, I don't tell them what I do, I tell them how I connect. I don't tell them the strategies I use, although I do in courses, but you can pick and choose which ones align with you based off of your own connection with source and your own alignment to the strategy. Because not all strategies click with everyone because it's not part of their path, and that's okay. But so in understanding how to connect with God and receive your own divine guidance, you're able to make decisions that are self-led, that are truly self-led. When you aren't and don't know how to make decisions, tapping into God, tapping into source, then what do? You look around at other human beings and you say, well, they're doing that, so I'm going to do that. They're doing that, so I'm going to do that. And you're in this very vulnerable state, because then if Mr. Bro Marketer comes along and says, yeah, if you don't do this, this is like the holy grail to everything. If you don't take this course right now, like, sorry, buddy, you don't believe in yourself. You've got too much fear. You're letting fear control everything for you. Like, you're doomed. If you don't join this course now, you're never going to win. And you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll do anything. Because you don't have your own power. You don't have your own alignment. You don't have your own vine yet. And so you're kind of like this tumbleweed out in the desert waiting for something to come snatch you up so that you feel like you belong. Marcella said, I teach my kids to be self-reliant and have them become independent, successful, magical humans. Yes! Teach your kids how to navigate their own guidance system, right? Teach your kids how to communicate with God. Teach them how to sit there and be quiet and ask God for guidance. And literally have them say out loud, maybe, dear God, what's the best thing for me? And ask them, what's your answer? What's the answer you got back? I promise you, they will start to get answers. And they'll start to learn how to trust themselves. I feel like in our world today, there's so many people, grown women, grown men, who don't know how to navigate the world, don't know how to make their own decisions, don't know how to trust themselves, because they had parents at one point in time that did not teach them how to connect to source themselves, but became the source for their children. And when you are the source for your children and you go bye-bye, now what do they plug into? They'll eventually find God. because everyone's always reaching for that, right? Everyone's always reaching for God. Always. So eventually they would get there, but they would certainly be in like a spiritual, emotional, physical uproar, because they're like, where did my source go? Now I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to turn. I don't know how to trust myself. I don't know how to make decisions. I don't know how to navigate life. I don't know how to do this by myself. I don't even know who I am, right? Aloha! So look at the areas in your own life where you are not self-led. Look at the areas in your own life where you rely on another human being to validate your decision making. Now, I'm not talking about like brainstorming with your spouse. I'm not talking about like masterminding with a group of people who are going where you're going. I'm talking about like when you want to do something, is there someone that you call to ask, is this okay that I do this? Is there something that you do to ensure that like this is an okay move? Or do you listen to God and move? Listen. The only way you will ever find your own self-leadership, your own ability to walk through life and blaze a trail for others as a true leader, is when you're connected with Source, is when you're receiving from God, is when the next step and the next step and the next step isn't coming from a human, but it's coming from Source. That's the only way that I know of. Now, I was a follower of other people for a long time until I found my own source. Until I found my own connection with Source, right? And I still am in mentorship all the time, but it's a different kind of experience for me now. I don't look at them and work with them like, oh my gosh, you know all the things and I have to do everything the way that you're doing it in order to have what you have. I say, how did you build this? Like, what did you do? Like, how did you connect with Source? Like, how do you receive intuition? How do you make big moves? How do you trust harder? Like, these are the kinds of questions that I ask. I don't ask like, what did you do today so that I can do the same thing tomorrow? Right? What did you read? What are you reading right now so I can read the same thing? I ask, how do you navigate what you read next? So that I can learn how to navigate what I read next. How do you navigate, knowing when to invest in yourself instead of what are you investing in right now? See the difference? One is understanding of how I work so that I can work better myself with God. And the other is giving this person my power because I am assuming that they are God. On a subconscious level. Like you're putting all of your eggs in their basket. So look at your life and say, where are the areas that I'm not self-led with God, self-led with Source? Where are the areas where I'm relying on fleshy things to control my path versus staying in alignment and hooked up to my own vine?